going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today we're here for Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 16. And before we start this video, guys, I would like to ask you, please drop a like. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and to get all the videos and all the notifications and all that good stuff. And let me know if you made it to the end of the video. But yeah, we're gonna get started with today, and this is a rather good episode. Like, we know all of Rita's backstory in this episode essentially, and we actually get to see their other eye, like their other eye that's actually like kind of whitish looking. But in this episode, we basically get a link between her and Himeno, basically saying that both their I wouldn't say parents, but like Himeno's parents, Rita's leader. They don't necessarily say if these two people were their parents, but yeah, basically their leaders were essentially both killed at the same time, and Rita is basically interrogating this man named Sharon, was basically interrogating him and basically saying that he was in prison for life for killing the past sovereign, and he's sticking to this story. He is sticking to this story of basically killing the sovereign and using a particular poison to kill her. And Rita basically doesn't think that he's really telling the truth about that, but he's sticking to this story of killing the sovereign because right now he was serving a life sentence. But we see that there is the Rita's favorite little, big old abominable snowman Mofun is basically a new Mofun is basically coming out. It's a handcrafted one, like they really want it, but they want to go get it. But basically there is one that they already have one in their evidence locker, and they decided to, I'm just going to use that one. I don't have to go out and buy one. And her retainer girl comes up to her and says, hey, why don't we just head to Ishibana and go get it the legal way? But she decides basically not to do that. She ends up going to Himeno and talking to her about what happened 15 years ago, and also the Fury of the Gods, what happened 15 years ago, and talking to her about how essentially her parents died is also has some kind of correlation to what happened in her kingdom. And she basically takes the poison that Sharon used, and basically takes it and has Himeno analyze it, and we find out later on that it's basically the same poison as the poison that was used to kill Himeno's parents. But we also see that Jeremy, Gira, and Yanma are all speaking together. We see that Gira's in Yanma's kingdom, and they're all speaking about the whole Rakulis and Ragnarok peace negotiation type thing. We did see that Rakulis was speaking with Debowski speaking with Debowski about what he talked about with the Ragnarok and with Death Narok. And he doesn't tell him anything. He doesn't tell him what they talked about. All he says was, Debowski does bring up a lot of pretty good points, saying that, since they negotiated peace, both parties have to gain something out of this, and into what's going. And basically in these notification, hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But Dabolsky talks about like both parties will have to gain something out of these negotiations, and Braculus just kind of shrugs it off and says like, what else could you possibly gain than just peace? Basically saying that, Raculus, he's a calm, calculated dude. He's got some stuff in the background that he's working on, and it starts to kind of show in this episode with some of the Ragnarok just appearing in other kingdoms. And we see that the Ragnarok ended up appearing in Kastopa, while Jeremy and Yama and Gira are there. And Jeremy does tell them about the peace negotiations, but Gira is like, no, I will never trust any decision made by Raculus. And we see that Yama pulls up that, hey, there are Bugnarok in my kingdom. If there are Bugnarok in my kingdom, I'm taking down. He talks to Jeremy and says, I'm taking you down first. So Jeremy kind of leaves to kind of go investigate this, and he ends up going to talk to Kamen. But we see that that's when Yanma and Gira actually go out there and actually start fighting off these Bugnarok that just suddenly started attacking people. And while they're doing that, we see that Kamen is talking with our monster of the week, saying that they're looking for the sovereign, the previous sovereign woman who died, essentially saying that, oh, she isn't dead, and we also can't let Sharon free. We can't let him be out free, because if he's free, then he'll end up finding the basically finding the other sovereign. So we basically get another court scene where Rita has brought Himeno with her to the court, and actually brought Sharon back to the fret, basically back into the courtroom. And she basically says that, well, they basically say, they asked him, how did you kill her and stuff like that. He basically goes off and says that, yes, I used this poison to kill her, but they end up deducing that, yes, this is the same venom and the same poison that was used to kill Himeno's parents, while also finding out that both these things happened at the same time. So there's really no way he could have killed her while the other dude was there's no way he could have killed her while the other dude was off killing Himeno's parents. So Sharon basically comes up and says that no, I'm glad you ended up figuring this out, because Rita basically figured everything out by saying there's no way you could have did it. And he comes out clean and says that, yeah, he said, well, I didn't do it. Everything, it was the sovereign wanted me to do this, wanted me to use this poison, make people think that she was dead, and I was going to take the blame for it. And basically this was supposed to keep their kingdoms like neutrality, keep their kingdoms neutrality. And she asked, so where is the sovereign? Basically the sovereign faked her death, and she says, where is the sovereign? Is she alive? And basically they say that he says that the sovereign is alive, but she's also not alive, and she's guarding this other prisoner she's guarding this other prisoner who also basically did the actual killing. But we all know, we kind of believe that it was actually Raculus that actually did this whole killing of these people and stuff. So Rita ends up finding out the truth from him and actually freeing him. But he basically says that they had like this little necklace that Rita would wear, and when you open that necklace, it's a letter from the sovereign talking about how Rita used to be when they were a child, and how they were able to basically grow up, and after they were appointed to be the ruler of the kingdom, they eventually grew up to be the perfect ruler for the kingdom. Even though Rita was basically forced to be the ruler of the kingdom at 10 years old, they also point this out with the same thing with even Himeno also pointed this out with her, how she also had to be forced to become the ruler of her kingdom at a very young age. And she makes it apparent that she makes it known that, yeah, we have this in common and stuff like that. So that's when our monster of the week does attack. Our monster of the week was like this bug construction dude who was shoveling, had a double-sided shovel and stuff like that, and basically shoveling the snow out of the way of the kingdom's doors, the castle doors, and ended up fighting. We see that they end up freeing Sharon, and Sharon is basically about to go on a journey around Terra to find the sovereign, since she's alive but also not alive, basically going to every corner of the world trying to find her. That's when he ends up attacking. We see that that's when we get the reveal of Rita's eye. They have a silver looking eye, and they ended up defeating this ended up defeating the monster, and ended up defeating the small version of the monster. He runs back to Kamen. Kamen basically says that it's not that much of a failure, but you could at least take the head of the ruler for me. He grows, and that's when Jeremy comes in, summons Tarantula Knight, and it's actually starts to use a new weapon of his, and actually takes this dude out. Once he takes this dude out, we end up going back to what's happening in Custopia. We see Yama and Gira taking down all these like Bugnarok grunts. That's when a bunch of more Bugnarok grunts show up, and they actually start to talk. And when they start to talk, they say Raculus wants to talk to you. And that's when we basically put two and two together and find out that Raculus is actually, he's made peace with the Bugnarok essentially, but he hasn't made peace with everybody else. So now he's actually able to use some of the Bugnarok grunts as he wants to. He ends up hiding Gira, or Yama ends up hiding Gira, because Gira is supposed to be dead. And that's when Raculus appears in front of Yama on the TV and says, on the big TV communicator thing, he basically says, "Hey, now we shall make negotiations of peace." And episode basically ends off right there. We see that Raculus has basically gotten the Bugnarok to partner up with him, because I know goddamn well they are not bowing down to Raculus. The freaking Bugnarok hate humans, and they hate everybody else. So what are the Bugnarok also gaining from this? I want to know that. What are the Bugnarok also gaining from teaming up with Raculus? And it makes sense of why the Bugnarok only showed up in Castopa, because Raculus, most likely out of all the other kings, Raculus hates Yama the most. Essentially, he hates Yama the most, and he's for damn sure gonna go out here and mess up his kingdom first. Whenever he wants to try and go make peace with everybody, he messes up Yama stuff first. So yeah, we see that next episode we get the introduction to a new guy who most likely seems like he's gonna be a recurring character. I don't think this guy's gonna be somebody who's just gonna get put down easily. But this episode was dope, man. I did like how we got more information about Rita, how they became the ruler, how they was able to overcome who they were before, also with their previous sovereign and stuff like that. More information about that. I'm wondering, they don't outright say that these people are, Rita's parents, but I mean, most likely her retainer, her partner girl, most likely is also related to the sovereign, because they have a similar hair color. Same thing with the guy Sharon. He had black and white hair. Rita has white hair. Rita has black hair. Her retainer girl has whitish grayish hair, and then the sovereign herself also has black and gray hair, and Sharon also has black and gray hair. So I'm thinking these people have got to be Rita and her retainer girl's parents. That's how I see it. That's how I'm seeing it. I don't know, but that's how I'm looking at it, because they all have the same colored hair, stuff like that. Like either the same color hair, or they all have a hair color in common. But yeah, but overall this episode was pretty great. I wonder what Raculus and freaking Death Narok talked about. I wonder what Death Narok is also doing in the background. What is he gaining from these negotiations as well? We see that Jeremy most likely is going to start investigating this a little bit deeper, because after him talking to Kamen, he's getting real skeptical of Kamen right now. He's most likely going to investigate what they're actually doing, because he was very excited about these negotiations that happened, but I guess he didn't think that oh well, they can, Raculus can just make negotiations with Death Narok just to benefit himself. Same thing with Death Narok. But yeah, You guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger. Like I said before, like, share, subscribe. Let me know if you made it to the end of the video. I'm going to see you guys next time. And remember, stay henshin.